It's not a teaser trailer this time. We finally got the full Evil Dead Burn trailer. Let's give it a watch. All right, back at Ruby's house. Let's freaking go. Home videos. That's just lovely. Beautiful couple. Oh, she doesn't seem like she's happy to watch that. He seems like he should be in Wednesday.
No.
They made a little family collage. He's kind of aggravated.
The wedding ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the husband.
Why aren't you wearing it?
In-laws kind of seem like jerks.
And a good prize.
No, he's got to be possessed. They're possessed. They're deadites already. They're already deadites.
Down on us from above.
They're already... Did Sam Raimi proud? Yep, you're a deadite. You're a deadite. Yep. Run. Run.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. No.
William.
You have to love those zoom-ins. Doing Sam Raimi justice.
For us to be together again.
No, you wouldn't. I have a feeling you're going to be reunited soon.
Believed.
All right, there's the
Would return.
book. I wonder what book it is.
Anyone read from the Book of the Dead?
Don't know. You don't read from a book bound in flesh, inked in human blood. Grandma's rocking it.
The whole family.
These deadites seem much more menacing. Whoa. She will never play the piano again. All right, more Left 4 Dead than Evil Dead. All right, another bathroom scene. 2013 Evil Dead. 2013 Evil... Resident Evil? 2013 Evil Dead. We saw stills of this, so I kind of knew what was going to happen with bringing Candle Wax gameplay to an entirely new level. Evil... Oh. No! No! See, that's why you always unload the dishwasher. Oh, and she made things worse. Oh, no. All right, guys, let's break this down. All right, there is a lot of stuff going on in this trailer, a ton of things to unpack, and I'm 100% here for it. First off, I love to see that they're in Ruby's house from Ash versus the Evil Dead. If you're a fan of the Evil Dead movies, then you will see the house, know the house, and relate it to bad things happening there. So it already has the ominous aura, the ambiance, just the menacing presence, everything. You can tell that evil is in there. It's dark and dank and musty, and it doesn't look like it was really kept up or maintained well. Bad things are going to happen. So I love that. Something that I don't know how to feel about it. Just a couple of things is, first off, the weed whacker with the saw blade on it. Okay, that's great. I didn't really like the hero stance. I didn't like the way that it reminded me of that. And I hope that they didn't put that in place of the iconic red chainsaw. When I think of Evil Dead, I think of the Deadites, the Necronomicon, the 12-gauge double-barrel Remington S-Mart's top of the line, and the modified chainsaw for the one hand that Ash has. Now, in 2013, they gave a little bit of a head tilt to that, paid a little bit of respect by having the chainsaw. That was great. I hope they're not trying to replace it with another menacing small engine gasoline-powered garden tool just to try to keep the same feel but kind of change it up a little bit because they're afraid it's getting old and played out. I hope they don't do that. Another thing that I'm a little worried about, maybe you guys can clear it up down in the comments below. Now, the dog, was the dog attacking a deadite, or was the dog the deadite attacking a human? Because if it was the dog attacking a deadite, all right, that's one thing. I can be there for it. If it's a dog deadite or a deadite dog attacking a human being, I really don't know how to feel about that. I'm getting feelings of other movies with the weed whacker And the saw blade, I'm getting more of a Left 4 Dead than an Evil Dead. If it was the dog that was possessed, we haven't really seen that before. We've seen the Deadite possess a deer head, but not an actual animal. That gives me more of a Resident Evil vibe. That scene right there, it just kind of threw me out of Evil Dead and made me think of Resident Evil. Another thing is I got a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the beginning right there, where they're all gathered around the dinner table and they're talking, and you could see that the actress, that the widow is in distress, like she was kind of being held against her will. She looked away from the video that was put together. It felt like an evil, dysfunctional family around the dinner table, and it reminded me so much of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not that that's a bad thing at all. Having influences from classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like Evil Dead that was so popular, even Left 4 Dead with the game franchise and the movie franchise, absolutely, completely there for it. I just hope they don't lean into it a whole lot. Hopefully I'm wrong when it comes to that. Still going to watch it, still going to enjoy it, still think it's going to be a fantastic movie. Just maybe a couple of little things. The main thing that I noticed was in the opening, sitting at the dinner table, you had the love and the wedding video that apparently the younger brother, I can't remember his name, he was in Wednesday. It's they put that together, and the actress, the widow, looked away like she was in distress, like she didn't want to watch it. Not because she was grieving, or not because she was just didn't want to be reminded of what she lost, but because she's being forced, and there's something evil and dark and wrong with the video, and she didn't want to be a part of it. And then she starts playing with her knife, playing with the corkscrew, and you could see the agitation and the anger and the violence and the evil rising up through the entire conversation, talking about the wedding ring and everything like that. You can clearly see that something is off with the dad, whom I'm assuming is the dad. You can really see something's off with the grandma, because she's just kind of sitting there in the classic demented, twisted, evil Deadite, to where it's just behavior that's mimicking kind of that uncanny valley. The demon is mimicking but can't quite mimic. You can see something off. Grandma was definitely not all there when it came to that. I really love that. I love in Evil Dead Rise how it was the family, and it was taking care of the family, menacing the family, but there wasn't all of them all at once. As first the mom, then the sister, then neighbors, then all of them, then a mix with this. This looks like it's Deadite menacing and playing with their food and psychological torture on a whole new level. These Deadites look like something evolved, something darker, something more evil and scary and fearful. We saw how before the Deadites will come across looking possessed, and then right before they're dispatched and somebody gets the upper hand on them, they revert back to the way that the person remembered them pre-possession. And then once they get the upper hand again and the person takes a step back, then they show their possessed form and go after the person. This looked like they were playing with the widow, possibly the son, little brother, whatever you want to say. They were playing with their food. They were bringing things up and setting off red flags and alarms to these people and ramping it up to make the fear progress that more, like they were torturing them and prolonging it. That's just a level of evil that we really haven't seen in the Deadites, and I thought the Deadites were completely and utterly evil to begin with. So I'm completely there for that. It seems to me there was a lot of homage to Sam Raimi. I absolutely love it. How just the sweeping close-ups and the zooming in. Absolutely here for it. I'm a little bit afraid that maybe they might use it a little bit too much. I counted 4 times that I saw the classic on a 2x4 holding the camera going up. I saw that 4 times. So maybe, hopefully, they don't overuse that. I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with Sebastian Vanecek. I don't know how he's going to do it. It's going to be completely new to me. I love the way that it reminded me of the 2013 Evil Dead with the bathroom and the porcelain, and everybody knows the bathroom fight scene. Having that bag wrapped around the person in the bathroom, it reminded me and took me back to that. The way that a lot of it played out took me back to the original Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, which I love because those are my favorite. I just love the comedy that's in it, and they're just cult classics. So if you can pay homage to that and you can somehow tie them in to show your respect and love and dedication to these movies and the writers, directors, absolutely here for it. Now, I think the way that this is going to be is this is going to be a continuation from Evil Dead Rise, which is something that we really didn't see. I mean, we saw it with Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Evil Dead 1, really, it matters most, but it really doesn't matter because with Evil Dead 2 just kind of retold the story and continued a little bit, I guess because of the copyrights and because of everything like that. It was basically the same story with different things added. So 1 and 2, about the same thing. 2, Army of Darkness, you see where he was sucked through the vortex, went back in time to battle the Deadites and to get the book to take care of everything. So that's good. Evil Dead 2013, completely and utterly different from Evil Dead 2. This looks like a continuation. I think we saw, possibly, I could be wrong, what's her name, Jessica? The one from Evil Dead Rise, where she was a Deadite in the beginning at the lake, and she's the one that was leaving in the car from the apartment, and she took it to the lake, and how they got out. It looks to me like it was her that caused the accident, that was walking down the road, and it was her that was showing the menacing, like she's the reason that the Deadites got out. It kind of seems to me like it's the continuation of the beginning of Evil Dead Rise, to where she takes care of everybody at the lake, and she's possibly wandering, trying to find her next victim, gets on that road, sees a car coming, causes the accident. That's where everything starts. Absolutely here for that. Love it 100%. Now, if we go off of that, I would assume that it's the same version of the book that they found in the vault, locked up with the teeth and all of that stuff. I know it's kind of a new thing. I didn't hear anybody talking about it last year or the year before. I've got a couple of friends that they review franchises, and when they did Evil Dead, one of my buddies said the biggest problem he had with it was they don't adhere to their own rules. Like in one of the movies, you got rid of the Deadites by dismembering. Another one, you had to set fire to the body. Another time, you couldn't do anything. You had to pretty much just eviscerate it through the wood chipper and all of that stuff. So he thought that they were just kind of bending for each one to fit the narrative. But I brought to his attention that there was more than one book. How in Army of Darkness, even though they made it think it was just a decoy and they were hiding the book and you had to kind of figure out which one was it, Army of Darkness specifically said there were 3 books. He was in the cemetery, he was picking it, and he has the classic line, whoa, hold on, 3 books. Nobody said anything about 3 books. I mean, do I take 1 book or all books or what? And he hits the first book. It's the vortex, which sucks him in. That's the version of the book that he found at the cabin that took him back in time. Second one, he goes down to reach it. He puts his hand in the mouth and the teeth bite down on him, and then it flies around, starts attacking him. That's clearly the book that was in the vault because of all the teeth coming up as the lock and everything like that. I would assume in 2013, since it was in a cabin, taking place in a cabin, that it was the Vortex book that was in 2013, and the Tooth book was in this one. The only one that we have to see is really the Army of Darkness adaptation, where it's the book that takes care of the Deadite Scourge and brings him back to his regular time, all of that. We haven't seen that yet. I'm wondering if they're going to do that with Evil Dead Wrath. Another thing that I'm thinking about that would tie in beautifully, it's just kind of a fan theory for me, or maybe where I would love to see the franchise go, is the alternate endings for Army of Darkness, the comic book, where instead of just saying the words and going back to the time and being at the store, being at S-Mart where he worked, he had to say the words, drink the potion, he fell asleep, woke up in his own time, but he messed it up didn't say the words right, drank an extra drop, something like that. It's been a long time. And he woke up, comes out of the cave, and the entire cityscape off in the distance is overrun with the flying deadites and everything like that. I would absolutely love if Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Burn, possibly Evil Dead Wrath was setting that up to where this is the story of how the Necronomicon and the Deadites get in to the public, how it starts taking over towns and everything, and eventually overcomes the entire city, either being through the apartment complex, then being through this town where the lake was and this house and stuff like that. And I would love it if they set that up to where there could be an Ash, at least cameo, and then someone else, because I know Bruce Campbell too old to be doing all of the action and stuff, and I know that he's not going to pass off the mantle of Ash to anyone, nor would I ever want him to. He's Ash through and through, but that could set up a huge cameo of him, maybe a little bit of CGI, taking some wrinkles out, but being with the long hair and the long beard as in sleeping, tattered clothes, coming out and seeing all that, that would be wonderful. And then passing the mantle on to somebody who helps out and takes care of everything because he's too old to do it. I would 100% be there for that. Tell me what you think, though. Would you be on board for that? Do you have a fan theory of your own? If you are such an Evil Dead fan like I am, where do you see this franchise leading? Where do you hope it leads? Do me a favor and drop it down in the comments. I would absolutely love that discussion. If you have an idea for a trailer you would like to see me react to, a movie you'd like to see me review, or a game that you would like to see me test and review, you can leave that down in the comments below as well, along with a like, a share, a subscribe, a hype if you would. I would appreciate it greatly. If you don't want to do that, you can head over to my Discord, drop me a DM, and I will put it in the queue for you. And until we see you next time, I hope you have a great day.